Yo guys, we're finally at the start of the F1 2022 season and I'm so ready. So ready in fact that I thought I'd use the start of the season to start a new F1 video series. That series is going to be a full 2022 season playthrough using the new 2022 F1 car, or as close as we can currently get in a racing sim. I'll be running all of the 2022 liveries, competing against all of the confirmed drivers and racing on every 2022 track and keeping track of the championship standings. Every video will consist of an individual round, with the first being at Bahrain. I'll show you some highlights of Quali and show you the complete race, all from a realistic T-cam using close to real F1 timing boards. My goal in this series is to take Seb Vettel back to the top of the standings, with my ultimate goal of getting him his 5th World Drivers' Championship. To be able to run this championship, I'm going to be racing on a Assetto Corsa with a modded 2022 F1 car, courtesy of Race Sim Studios. I'll leave links in the description below so you can download this car. Because I'm using Assetto Corsa and not the official F1 game, there are a few caveats. I've gone with a single 10-minute quali session rather than the 3-part session we normally see, and roughly a 30-minute race session, which is around 20 laps or so. We have DRS and ERS management in game, as well as pit stops, but due to the limitations of Assetto Corsa, I can't stipulate that AI drivers run at least 2 tyre compounds. So you may see some races where they run a medium-medium tyre strategy, for example. Despite this, I'll be running at least 2 different tyre compounds in each race. I hope you guys like this series, and if you do, please leave a comment below and let me know, as this will give me the motivation I need to carry on and finish the whole season. Also, let me know if you want me to change anything for future videos moving forwards. But for now, as you can see, I've jumped straight into the quali session and started the action. So we pick up the action partway round my first flying lap. As we're approaching the last corner, we've had a pretty good lap so far, and Hamilton's put in a 1:33, which I think we probably get pretty close to, but lock up the rear brakes, front brake bias was too far rearward. We lock it up and come into the pits, and that's the first one done. So we're currently sitting P19, we haven't got a lap time on the board yet. We're starting our second run, we've only got 3 minutes to go in quali, 3.5 minutes. So we need to get a safety run on the board pretty quickly. So running down start straight to start the first, well, my first flying lap in quali. Down into turn 1. I'm just going to shut up and let this lap play out a little bit. So there you see we have a huge moment again. I haven't quite got my brake bias right. Start to lose the rear end on the entry to the second to last corner. But we go to finish the lap because we need to get one on the board. So this isn't going to be a fast lap by any means. But we come towards the line, see where we end up. And P10, okay. P10, not great, not terrible. We could probably do better than that. You can see we've got a gap behind Ricciardo after that 1 second mark. We could probably slot in there, I reckon, get another second or so off the lap time we currently have. But last run on quali, down to the infamous turn 10, and again lose the rear end of the car, and that's quali done for us. So looking at the standings, George Russell takes the first pole of the year, beating Hamilton by just 6/100ths of a second. Got Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc in 3rd and 4th place, with Danny Rick putting his McLaren in 5th place. Somehow Alex Albon has got 6th place there in the Williams. I'm not sure how he's done that. But then followed by both Red Bulls of Verstappen and Sergio. And then we've got Norris putting in a time for P9 and us in P10. So not ideal, not the best start we could have gone for. Like I said, we could have probably slotted in around 5th place there, I reckon. If we didn't have that rear lock-up coming into the last sector. But P10, for the first race of the season, we'll see what we can do. So jumping into the race itself, I'm going to show you the full race now. So lights are away. Okay start, not terrible, got a good second part of the start there. But the cars in front pulling away from a little bit. Let's just be a little bit careful going into this first corner. Always be a bit of a headache. Cars bouncing over everywhere. Try and keep it quite steady. We're still in P10. We've got Perez. Perez not getting the best exit there out of turn 3. So we're up a place already. P9. We've got Perez down our inside there. Can we keep ahead of him? Yeah, there we go. Shut the door on Perez. So we're one position already up. Looks like Verstappen has got Albon. So I reckon Albon's going to go backwards pretty quickly in this race. We get a good run on Norris there. Down to P9 and 10. T9 and 10, sorry. Not really a conventional overtaking spot, but we get down the inside. And it's going to be a run down to turn 11. Again, we've got the run on Norris and we're up another place. That's P8. Sticking down the inside of Albon. Can we get away? Got a slightly compromised line here. Can't really accelerate out. So Albon coming back at us. He got a better run out of that corner. Better line really. So still P8. But up 2 positions after the end of the first lap. Completely missed the apex there because I was looking to see where Lando Norris was behind us. But let's just try and settle into a rhythm now. Let's try and keep this position. Let's keep moving forward. Again, I think I'm hoping for probably a top 3 finish here. I don't know if we can quite catch the 2 Mercedes at front. I don't know how fast the Ferraris will be, but Leclerc's dropping backwards a little bit and sitting just in front of Albon. So I reckon a top 3 finish is on here. Like I say, the goal of this series is to take Seb Vettel to his 5th title. He's had a rough few years at Ferrari and Aston Martin, so I think it's time he comes good. I don't know how good Aston Martin are going to be this year, but hopefully they've upped their game and they'll be there challenging for podiums and just behind that first run of teams, which is probably looking like Red Bull and Ferrari after winter testing, but we'll see. Whoa, late dive there. Albon brakes extremely early. It caught me off guard. So stick it down the inside just to avoid a crash. Oh god, tapped him a little bit. He again braking early. Albon's out of position here. Luckily he didn't go round, so I don't feel too bad. But Norris has got a good run on us. Squeeze him a little bit to the inside of the track. Again, we'll see what we did. We did what Albon did last lap to us. Get a better run around the outside and we can keep Norris at bay. So again, the early braking Williams just catching me off guard a touch. So we have to be wary for that going forwards. Knowing that Williams brakes a little bit earlier than I expected anyway. So he's dropped back 2 seconds now from Charles in front of him. But again, we need to get past Albon quickly, otherwise we're going to quickly drop out of the contention for podium places, I think, here. We're actually getting quite a good run on him down here. P1 to turn 1, can we throw it down the inside? Throw his brakes up. How did he do that? He came back at us, he must have trail brake, lifted off the brakes while we were trying to slow it down, set a really tight entry to T1. And again, he got a better run on us there, so rethink that plan. Again, you can see how early he's braking. I'm having to be big moment there. Had quite a strange line through turn 4, which meant I did lose a bit of traction there. These 2022 cars do suffer from the tendency to oversteer a little bit on exit. They don't have the same amount of rear downforce that the 2021 cars did have. So that makes them a little bit harder to drive. They tend to understeer a little bit on corner entry and then sort of oversteer a little bit more on on corner exit as well. So you do have to drive them a little bit less aggressively than last year's cars. I don't know how that would translate to the 2022 F1 game, the Codemasters game, but certainly with this 2022 car, it's a little bit trickier to drive than the 2021 car that we're used to. Again, let's just keep close to Albon here. Don't really want to stick a move down here, but we've got so much more speed. Again, with tight line, he just gets a better exit than us. We have to hit the throttle late, but again, we've got the run here. This is got to be the move done. It's got to be P7 for us, and then moving forwards. Can't see him in the mirrors just yet, but we can outbrake him there, and slight rear lock up there. Again, I haven't got the brake balance and the setup just quite right in this car yet. Got a tendency to, under heavy braking, sort of lock the rear brakes a little bit more than I'd like anyway. So you may see me kind of struggling with that a little bit through this race, a bit of rear locking under some heavy braking scenarios. But P7, we've got fastest lap of the race as well there, and we've already closed the gap to Leclerc in front of us to around a second. So let's see if we can. We've got a whole group of cars in front of us now. Let's see if we can slowly pick them off one by one before the first round of pit stops. I don't know when the AI are going to pit, but I think I'm going to pit around lap 12, 13. Put some soft tyres on and give it a good run to the end is my strategy here. Again, you can see the tyres. You can see the tyres wearing in this mod, which is fantastic. The tyre model here and the visual on the tyres are probably better than in the F1 games. They look, you can really visually see the wear as it's happening. They don't feel too bad at the moment, but we'll see as we go, see how bad the tyre wear gets. So let's just try and keep this nice and tidy. Just try and close in on Leclerc a little bit. Ooh, Leclerc getting on two wheels there. That's a strange line through T1 there, right up on the curb. Try and get down the inside of, I think it was Verstappen there, and now are they 3 wide, 2 wide, 3 wide going into T1. I don't know if there's a little clip there from Verstappen on sides. Oh, I need to stop paying attention to the cars in front of me and start paying attention to what I'm doing. Massive oversteer moment then. Lost me a little bit of time. Can't quite capitalise on the craziness ahead of us now because of that slight oversteer moment. But what was that? Was that 3 wide? Was that Sainz, Verstappen and Ricciardo all trying to battle for that third place? Currently Ricciardo's in third. That's a strong showing from him, especially given his form last year. Not necessarily the best. I know he did get that race win. It's just show Leclerc that we're there. No intention of diving down the inside, but let's just poke our nose in a little bit and just drift over, show him he's there, see if we can put him off a little bit. Again, if we keep this nice and tidy, we may get a run down to T1, but I seem to not be quite as fast in Sector 3 coming out of these corners. I seem to catch up in Sector 2 by the looks of it and brake a little bit later and take a bit more speed through the slower, more technical section, but the fast section of Sector 3, I can't really keep up with them. I'm struggling a little bit, so I've dropped back now. I don't know if we're going to have to use maybe sort of turn 8 as our potential overtaking spots. That's down the hill after the sweeping corners of 5, 6 and 7, so that might be the best overtaking spot for us here. That's where we seem to close in on the other cars in front. But everybody's still keeping up with Russell in front. I don't know if he's holding up Hamilton a little bit, but there's only about half a second or less than a second between each of the cars in front. I can still see first place here. So if we do start picking off these cars, we have a strong possibility of getting into the top 3 and maybe even challenging Russell or Hamilton. It seems to be Russell's holding up Hamilton a little bit. I don't know if Hamilton was in front of Russell, if he'd start to pull away or not, but there's a little bit of a train in front of us. And then looking back, we've got 2.5 seconds to Albon behind us. Like I said, he's not quite keeping the pace of the front runners. He's starting to drop back a little bit, although not as fast as I'd have thought he would have, especially given Latifi's down in P19. Alex is having a very good run, but Nice is right behind him. Perez not too far behind him either. There seems to be a little bit of a train behind us and a little bit of a train in front. Again, we're trying to keep it as neat and tidy through the last sector as possible. We're a little bit closer this time, but we're still half a tenth back. We still have fastest lap in the race, but we're not going to be able to challenge Leclerc as he goes for a move again down the inside of Verstappen. Again, that weird line bouncing over the curb of T1. Do we get a run on him here? We might get a run down to turn 4 here. Maybe we can battle Leclerc, just give him a little bit of squeeze, make his line a little bit tighter than ours, and then try around the outside, keep it wide, give him space, and then on the throttle earlier, and there we go. Capitalising on Leclerc's mistake up to P6. But this is turn 8 that I'm talking about. This seems to be where I get the closest to the cars in front. So I've dropped down to about a second behind Verstappen here, or just under. Again, just keeping it tidy, not making any silly mistakes. Well, that's the plan anyway, especially given how I've got my brake bias slightly wrong. My brake balance slightly wrong here. I'm just going to keep it nice and tidy. See if we can just get close to the cars in front. If they make silly mistakes like Leclerc just did, we can capitalise on that. We may even be able to get them in the pit stop. As I said, I'm going for a soft tyre second stint, so I don't know what the cars in front will do, but we may be faster towards the end of this race as well. So if we can keep it pretty tight, or pretty close to the front guys, we may be with a good chance at the end of the race of picking up a few more spots and potentially getting that podium that I think we could probably manage. Got Leclerc. You see Leclerc in our mirrors then, he braked extremely late and got very close to the back of my car. I was keeping one eye on that. Didn't want him to throw it down the inside like he tried on Verstappen and take us both out of the race. But this is a sector I need to be close going into turn 4. If I'm close, I can then keep up through that sort of middle sector and then throw it either down the inside or outside of turn 8. I think that is probably the best idea, because I don't think we have the speed out of sector 3. I don't think we'll be able to challenge into turn 1 overly often. As you can see, look, I cut the gap down from about 8 tenths at the end of sector 1 to just 2 tenths now. So that middle sector is definitely where we're stronger. So I just need to try to keep it nice and tidy through 1, 2 and 3, and then get a good run out of turn 4, and then we could be ready to make some moves forward. Got Verstappen looking at signs. That's not really an overtaking, but what was that? He just looked like he just sideswiped signs. That's fun to say, but okay, we've got Verstappen and Ricciardo in the pits on lap 9, so they might be running hards, or like I said at the beginning, they might run a medium strategy. I can't force them to run 2 tyre compounds just due to the limitations of Assetto Corsa, but we'll see what they do and what they come out on. Again, Leclerc getting extremely close to us on the entry to turn 1. Every time down there, I'm keeping one eye on my mirrors, because he might just throw something down the inside. But again, look, we're 9 tenths away from signs here, and then see where we are at the end of this sector, see how close we can actually bring that down to just show you how fast we are through. Oh, maybe not on this lap. If we're getting oversteer moments like that, that's not great. A small lock up there as well. You can tell the tyres are starting to go off. A little bit more leery as we put the throttle down, and a little lock up there for the first time into turn 10. But look, even despite that, we're only 3 tenths behind signs now. So again, we are making up time for that middle sector, but then watch that time disappear again as we come through this last sector. Not really the cleanest line through me there, got a little bit of too much of an early apex there. But again, look, we're back up to 7/10. We just really struggle to get the power down out of these faster corners. It's not the braking zone, it's getting the power down. Just don't have the confidence in the car just yet, but we're 6-7 tenths behind Sainz in front. Let's just try and keep up with him before the pit stops. I don't know if we'll pit on the same lap as him. I don't know if you're coming a little bit early or if you're coming a little bit later than us. I don't know how they're doing on tyres, but I can certainly feel the tyres going off a little bit here. As you can see, the car's getting a little bit twitchy on acceleration and under braking in some scenarios, so I'm just going to have to try and nurse the car around a little bit over the next couple of laps, try and keep it in P4, or if we get the opportunity to stick it down the inside of Sainz, I will, but try and keep it just around here and then give us a good run in the last part of the race. I think that's probably the best strategy. Again, you can see the car getting a little bit wild on the exit of turn 8. But we have dropped Norris massively. Look at the gap, I've just looked back, 5.5 seconds back to Norris. And there we go, down the inside of Sainz. A little bit leery again, we just can't get turning in on the inside of that, just compromises our exit so much that we can't, right on the outside. You can see again twitching all over the place, tyres are going badly. But yeah, the tight line, I just cannot get the power down, and the Sainz just came back at me then, and I got really wild. Oh god. Oh, again, outbrake myself a little bit there. Right, let's get back. So we don't lose the place to Norris. Outbrake myself, just locked the rears there. I'm going to have dirt on my tyres now, but Norris is behind us. We've got 10th now. I can't see him in my mirrors, but he's just coming to the pits, that's why I can't see him in my mirrors. But we did just keep the position there, but we lost 7 seconds. 7 seconds to Sainz there. And again, I braked a little bit later than him. Had to brake harder, apply more pressure, and then just locked the rear axle. That was a mistake, that was not good. So 7 seconds now we've got to Sainz. Let's see if we can head down, try and control the twitchiness of this car. As you can see how bad it is getting out of some corners. Let's just see if we can claw that back in a little bit. I'm going to pit in a couple of laps time, put on some new boots. Again, look, you see the oversteer out of turn 8 there. But I think they're struggling as well. Like I say, Norris dropped back heavily then. I don't know why before the pit stop. But he lost 4 or 5 seconds. And we're already gaining on Sainz quite quickly here. So gained around a second. So let's just see if we can close that in. But I think they might be struggling on tyres as well. We have quite a different pit stop strategy going on with was it Ricciardo pitting early and Verstappen pitting a few laps ago, and so quite varied on the pit stop strategy. Some going early, some going a bit later, but we're just past the midpoint of the race now. 11 laps just about to be completed. And what's that? Who's coming into the pits? Have we've got Russell and Sainz both in the pits. Yeah, Russell and Sainz both pitting. So I just saw Hamilton exiting T1 then. Just see him up the track. Let's see if we can close that down. But the guys, Russell and Sainz, are both going to be on new tyres, so I don't know if they're going to, not that they need to undercut us, but I don't know if they're going to be faster over the next couple of laps before I pit. But let's just see what we can do. Let's try and keep it nice and tidy. Really concentrate. Again, you can see Hamilton there, just coming out of turn 8, just as we come approaching it. 5.5 seconds the gap. So as you can see, I am quicker. I'm definitely quicker than the other guys on the old tyres. No, I'm going to pit this lap. It's decided. again with the Assetto Corsa. To enable the AI to pit, we need to enable refueling. I know that's not actually in the rules in real F1, but enabling refueling doesn't affect pit times too much. They can refuel in a couple of seconds, and it just forces the AI to pit. If refueling wasn't there and if they ran a full fuel load, they just wouldn't pit. So let's come into pits now. Let's get it slowed down. There we go, get it slowed down. Our pit box is actually the first one here, so very strange. The guys, let's see what they can do. Hamilton leaves as we get our tyres on, and then we're away. So soft tyres for us. See where we come out. I can see Hamilton again ahead of us, about 5 seconds I think the gap was as we came into the pits. Got Perez pitting behind us, but let's see where Russell and the other guys are. The two Ferraris, that's the one that I really want to get ahead of, but just as I say that, both Ferraris come flying past me. So brilliant. We're down once again in P7, so we need to make some progress there. Just as I thought, the guys the Ferraris ahead would be a little bit faster on their new shoes, while we were struggling in that last lap with the old tyres, but we should have fresher rubber now, we should have better tyres. I think I can see them on mediums again, so like I said before, medium strategy for the AI around here. But that might give us the advantage. We're on softs, we've got to run 7 or so laps on the softs, so the medium started to go off probably around 8 or 9 laps, and then the last 2 or 3 laps were a real struggle, so it may be difficult to make these tyres last, but let's try and make some gains while they're fresh and while they're new. But you can see I pulled up right behind Sainz already, closed that gap, and I think overtaking should be a little bit easier in the second part of this race due to the tyre offset. So just keep it, I can keep it much closer through there. Try and get a good exit out of turn 13. Keep it, so we're 3 tenths behind at the moment, 2 tenths behind. If we can keep it here, we can make some moves. Don't really want to lunge down this inside of T14. That's not the best place because I'll be compromised all the way down there. Let's just get some DRS, keep it tucked nicely behind Sainz. We're about 3 tenths. We're not really closing on him though. No, he's actually pulling away from us there. So that plan of throwing it down T1 there didn't happen, but that was again another crazy move by another Ferrari, and that's Sainz. We got him. We can run him out wide just like we did early on in the race. AI seem to like hopping over that inside curb to try and make him overtake. It's not conventional, but we don't mind taking the place off them if they make a little mistake like that. So that's P6. Right, got to get my goal of P3. We're going to be trying to get past Ricciardo towards the end of this race, I think, unless Verstappen gets him now. So Verstappen's moved up a little bit. He's P4. I think he started. When did he start? Oh god, tapped him again. We're braking so early, and trying to get back on track. Dusty tyres again. Sainz is still behind us, but he might be coming back at us now. No, again, the AI braked a little bit early there on the slower tyres. Sainz down the inside of us there. I think he's trying down the inside, but I've got a better run out there. Much better run out, yeah. So we kept Sainz behind us, but the guys in front on medium tyres are braking a little bit earlier than I am on softs. So it's the same scenario that we had with Alex Albon earlier on. And now we only lost 3 seconds there, 3.5 seconds we lost with that little mistake. It wasn't quite a full spin. We managed to recover okay. But dirty tyres mean I'm running out wide here. Can't quite get it slowed down. Just need to calm it down. We're going to have Sainz sticking down the inside of us here. Just try and drift over, make his line a little bit tighter. See if we can outbrake him. Hopefully he won't hit the curb and throw it down the inside. I'm going to give him room anyway. He does. Look at him go flying, bouncing over there. But once again, we get a better run out, and we keep Sainz at bay. We keep P6 for now. We lost a little bit of time due to that battling. Just over 3 seconds behind. But let's see if we can see how quickly we can claw that time back with these soft tyres before they start running out on me. Had a couple of laps now on them. Hopefully the peak hasn't passed, and we still have a tyre performance advantage over the guys in front. But yeah, let you see the second. We've pulled a second on Leclerc in front of us already. That's how much faster we are. So we already, on the same tyres, we're already faster through sector 2. But with these new soft tyres, I'm even faster still. I've gained, what, a second and a half through that one sector alone. See if we can try and keep it relatively steady through this last sector. Probably my weakest sector of the whole lap. But Verstappen still hasn't got past Danny Rick yet. He's still behind, and Ricciardo's dropping back from the Mercedes in front. So Ricciardo's giving the Mercedes a little bit of a breather. You've got Hamilton getting very close to Russell there. I don't know if he's going to try and move, but he's only 2 tenths away. We've got Leclerc in front of us, getting very close to Verstappen, and he may even get past him here. Hamilton is pulling a move. Look, 0, he's got in front. Hamilton is in front of Russell. Again, those Ferraris and jumping over that inside curve, that gives us a place. We'll take that happily. But Russell's got back in front of Hamilton there, so Russell must have got a better run out of turn 1, 2 and 3 and kept that position. Right, so we've got Verstappen. Oh, another huge moment. So when I take that strange line through turn 4, when I get a bit too close to the car in front, I sort of stick my nose on the inside where I probably shouldn't, and that accelerating offline just makes it a little bit trickier, and I seem to always oversteer if I do that, so I need to stop that. We're so close to Verstappen here. I don't want to throw it down the inside. I don't want to get too close and touch him. Been burned there already twice in this race, one with the Ferrari and one with Alex Albon, who is now... Where is Alex Albon? He's dropped back to 9th. So he's in 9th position. He's way back from Norris, 10 seconds back, holding up, 5 guys behind him? So Albon, as predicted, not quite hanging on to the pace of the guys in front, but still doing very well in the points. So that's fantastic. We like Alex Albon, so good to see him doing well there. We've got a good one out of typically one of our least favourite corners and throw it right down the inside. Heavy brake there. And can we just keep that position again? Just get a better acceleration around the outside there. He's doing Max Verstappen and run them a little bit wider to the edge of the track, I think. But we're going to go 3 wide here. Look, I'm going to go down the inside of both these guys. Throw the brakes on. We've got Danny Rick to the outside. Oh, Danny Rick's touched us. Danny Rick has sent us round. He was there, I couldn't see him, and he kept his nose in and sent us round and sent us back to 7th place again. Maybe P3 isn't on the cards. Maybe it's just not meant to be in this race. With that back behind the Ferraris, we've got a big buffer to Lando Norris behind us, so I'm not worried about losing 7th place, but I seem to be struggling to maintain any spots ahead of us. And cars in front are fighting back very well. So look how much faster I am than Sainz here. I'm going to go round the outside, very unconventional, round the outside of T9 and 10. That should hopefully give us a better platform to accelerate on than Sainz, who's going up the inside. And yet we've got Sainz there, so he's dropped back, so that's a position. Right, so we've still got fastest lap of the race. We're in 6th position. I can see 3rd ahead of me. I can see the 3 guys ahead. I certainly don't think we're going to be challenging for 2nd or 1st place here, like I thought we may be able to when I saw that big group of cars earlier on in the race, but I think 3rd is still there for the taking. Again, I'm keeping up, throw those anchors on, making sure I don't lock the rear axle again, but we can brake so much later than the guys on mediums. I haven't noticed the tyres going off just yet, but we've got 2 laps to go, 2-3 laps to go. Hopefully they just make it to the end, but we still have a tyre performance there. And once again, Charles Leclerc down the inside, over the curbs, and thank you very much. I will have 5th place. Brilliant. Those 2 Ferraris and that inside curve, they absolutely love it, hopping over there. Right, so we've got Verstappen and Ricciardo ahead of us again. Let's see if we can make these 2 places stick this time. I think it's going to be trickier getting past Verstappen. You saw a little moment there. I've got a little bit on the inside of the curb. Just hopped me across the track, wobbled my car a little bit. I think Danny Rick is doing us a favour here by keeping Verstappen in check. Verstappen can't get past Danny Rick, meaning he's there for the taking. He's slower. We forced Verstappen to the inside line there, made him take a racing line that he probably wouldn't have wanted to take. It actually gave us an advantage. We might be able to get him down the outside here. Give him just enough room if he wants to stick his nose in, but ultimately we've got the place. We've got a better run through there, better racing line, and up to 4th place. Right, 3rd place again. 3rd place ahead of us. We've got 2 laps. I think we can take this. I think we've got the pace advantage. As long as the tyres stay, with us, I think we may have this. Oh, cheeky look into the last corners there. Not quite got the braking prowess of Danny Rick, and he outbrakes us and just keeps ahead. So we've got a gap of 5/10, got half a second to the guy in front. Oh, getting very close there. Again, having to brake a little bit heavier than I wanted to, lock the rear axle a little bit, compromise my line in, and very compromise my line out, and we're a second back, so that was not good. I need to learn the braking points of these guys ahead of us on the slower tyres, because they're causing me all sorts of problems here. Just being able to brake a little bit later than them. I just need to be, oh, big wobble there. I can feel the tyres now, the tyres are going a little bit. But look how much faster we are through that middle sector. Look how much faster we are. Right, have we got a run down here? I'm not brave enough to. We weren't quite far enough alongside Ricardo to warrant a move. I wasn't quite brave enough there to do that, but we got a good run here. Shall I just throw it down the inside here? Again, not quite. Whee! That was a little bit close. I think we may have even just clipped his tyre a little bit. But I got up onto the curb, bumped over it a tiny bit into Danny Rick's rear tyre. Luckily, no damage was done, nobody spun out. And again, we're half a tenth back. We've got one more lap now. One more lap to go. Let's keep it nice and tidy, see if we can get him into T1. But if failing that, I think, like I said earlier on, T8 might be our best chance. Let's keep it tidy. So 4 tenths. Got 4 tenths ahead. Not quite making any leeway here. We're not going to be able to throw it down into T1. We're way too far back. I mean, you've got to try it, right? You've got to be in it to win it. But braking so much later, so much heavier, that's actually cost us there. We've lost time. That was not a good idea. We've got Verstappen right on our... Now, no, he's not going to make a move. Luckily, Verstappen stays behind us. It's the last thing we want. We don't want to be going backwards now. We want to be going forwards. Let's get a good run through here. I don't think we're going to be close enough to throw it down on the inside of T8. No, look at the outside. Force him onto the inside there. Force him into a defensive line. But look at our tyres. Our tyres are going. We are struggling to keep the throttle down. Struggling to slow the car down there. I really don't want to lock a wheel and just run wide. It's so easy to do. This is going to be a Hail Mary into either turn 13 or turn 14 here. It's just going to be. We can keep it relatively close here. I could have run out wider. That was not a good line through there. But I'm just worried about applying the throttle here. So try and get close to him. Right, we're 3 tenths back. This is okay. Into the last corner. I'm just going to throw it down the inside. It's got to be done. Down the inside, we're not quite there. Right alongside. And I can see his front wing. I can see him right next to us. It's going to be a run down to the line. See the fireworks going off. I don't see him. No, I do see him. He's pulling away from us, and we're not going to do it. Oh, less than a tenth that must have been. We didn't quite do it. That was as close as they come. I don't think we could have been any closer then. But ultimately, P4 for us in our first race. That's a recovery drive from P10, I think it was, we started. So I'm not too disappointed by that. A few silly mistakes. I think we could have been easily P3 and probably should have been P3 then. But we still managed to make our way through the pack. So looking down, we've got George Russell did hang on to win it and took fastest lap of the race as well. So we've got an extra point there. Lewis Hamilton over a second back in the end. We've got Danny Rick in third, who was, how far ahead was he for me? 3 100s, less than 3 100s ahead of me. That's how close that was across the line. That was a photo finish. we had Verstappen behind us, just less than a second behind us, followed by the two Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz. I expected them to do well this year. And then we got Lando Norris, who dropped back for some reason, I don't know why, but he was around 10 seconds back from Sainz in the end. Then Alonso came through and got P9 and Perez in P10. So the Red Bull's not having a great race now. I'd expected both of them to do a bit better, but we'll see how they go as the season continues. The next page we've got Valtteri Bottas, P11, quite a good run for Alfa Romeo in his first run out then. No points unfortunately, but still P11, followed by AlphaTauri of Gasly, Mick Schumacher, then Yuki, take 13th to 14th. It's very close there. The gap between Bottas and Ocon was about 2 seconds. That's very close for those kind of almost points positions. Then we got K-Mag, about 10 seconds back, P16. Not a bad run out for his first race back in a while. Then Lance Stroll, our teammate, in 17th. I don't know what happened to him, because he was doing okay. I think he was P12 at one point, so he dropped backwards. Then we got Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, in P18, and then the two Williams. What happened to Alex Albon then? From wherever he was, 5th, 6th on the grid to P20. I don't know what happened there at all, but what a disappointment for Alex Albon. He must have had a spin or maybe a second pit stop for whatever reason. But yeah, not good for him. So P4 for us. Where does that leave us? Drivers' Championship. We're 12 points, so 26 points for Russell because of the one for the fastest lap. We've got Hamilton, Danny Rick, and then us, followed by Verstappen and the two Ferraris, who I think both of the Ferraris and Verstappen are probably going to be contenders for the championship. They didn't quite show it here for whatever reason, but the Mercedes taking the 1-2 unexpectedly. I don't know if they'll do that this weekend in Bahrain in reality, but taking the 1-2 here. So that's a wrap on the first round at Bahrain, guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more, if you want to see me do the rest of the season, which I really, really do want to do, drop this video a like and leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment below. By leaving a comment, you sort of give me the motivation to carry on with this championship, and hopefully it'll be enjoyable too. I'll probably release the races much quicker than they are on the actual calendar. So we may get a race a week, maybe a couple a week, but let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying this, and hopefully this has been a good first race of a new series, but I'm extremely excited for this 2022 season. Until next time, guys, see you on track.